What is going on, guys? Been a quick minute. I moved house, so got a bigger garage now. Actually, probably about the same floor space. This one's just a bit, a little bit better, spaced out longitudinally. Whereas the other one was 2x2 back and back. So to work on this, if there was a car in front, you got to push the car out, move it back, all of that nonsense. Anyway, so that is the first update, I guess. Secondly, this video here is going to be a bit choppy, back and forward. I haven't made a video in a while. I really want to test out a new internet. We got NBN here, National Broadband Network, meant to be great, but I want to see what the uploads are. So for my other videos, it actually took probably 3 days, 3 days to upload a 20 minute odd video. Took far too long. So I'm going to make this about 20 minutes long, upload it, and hopefully it just straight up there. That'll be great, because it's actually it's quite off-putting when you do all this work and then you sit there watching 1%, 2%, 3%, so hopefully it's a little bit quicker. Anyway, today what I am doing, aside from learning how to weld or weld aluminium, I'm going through and doing the intercooler piping. So we need to go from here, this bad boy up here, this is the manifold, run it down, loop up, back into here. Seems pretty straightforward, but when you keep burning holes in aluminium, it takes a bit of time. On that note, welded on just a bit update for the bike, I guess. Welded on a little bit of a dump here, try and quieten it, aim the noise towards the ground. Probably going to have to cut this a bit shorter, but I'll look at that once the fairing's on and see what we got for clearance. Welded that on, TIG welding, first time TIGging in a long time, turned out pretty schmick. Welded on the secondary O2 bung for the old AEM wideband there, and we got the other one here chilling out for the factory, because I am running the AEM piggyback. It does need to keep reading what it wants to read itself. And then if we scoot over to this side, gotta get from here all the way to here. So this is the shorter one. I think this one should be pretty straightforward. Hopefully only a couple of welds, maybe 1 or 2 pie cuts to get it in there. There were no 180s at Motorsport Accessories, but make them do with these 2-inch bad boys here. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. As you can see, the bike's progressed quite a lot since you probably last saw it. All the back lines are all hooked up. All this is just taped on here so I can get a measurement while I'm trialing out different things. New stator and mag trigger coming in, so I got to take this off, swap all this wiring, because this is how the bike came. This one here isn't meant to be here. They're all meant to be yellow, and someone's gone and put themselves a nice big chunky wire there. It's kind of frayed down the bottom. Replace some of these plugs as you saw, and a little bit of action going on under here as well. A lot of the wiring is done. You can see there. There's one more bit of loom to come out from the ECU, and that is to control the injectors and I think that's pretty much it. Just an injector loom, really. Got a new starter relay because that gave up the ghost. Actually, it's going to be about 150 odd Australian dollars for a replacement Hyosung one. I paid $14 for this. This is actually one of the higher amperage rated starter solenoids for a Grom or a pit bike, or and it happened to have the right plug and everything, so boom, done, cheap. Don't want to spend too much money on this thing. We got this bad boy here, so these are the breather lines, one from each bank and one from the rocket cover up the top. They'll come down here, and they got the alloy filler rod and stuff. I can actually mount this bad boy, so I'm going to cut these brackets off obviously, load up some newies, and this is just going to chill down here somewhere, just under that fairing, tuck her under as much as I can, And Bub's your uncle, done. Only thing I'm really waiting for now is there's a connection in there between the lower exhaust and that flange up the top's got about 30 centimeters worth of tube, and there's like a crush gasket. Only Hyosung make it in that particular diameter because that's just how it is, and that's a little bit annoying. So waiting for that. Once that's in, that's pretty much it. That's the bike done. Actually, I've got two MSD, what are they? Two MSD SS blaster coils coming as well. This is throwing a code saying that cylinder 2 coil pack is a dud, and it is, but it isn't. So it's got spark, it's just very weak spark, so I'm not sure if that's a bad earth, but regardless, those are from a Hyosung GT650 carbureted model, not even meant to be on this EFI model. They're considerably older than the bike as well, so thought I'd break them, upgrade. So I've got the MSD, two of them, SS coil packs coming, we'll swap those over and it should be good. And then it's all about that tuning. Once those coils are in, because it's got a little bit of a misfire, unless you bring the revs up quite a bit. Once those coils are in, that gasket's in, the intercooler piping and the blow-off valve is in, I will run it, ride it, check the logs, and then I will go about swapping back to the 1000cc injectors, dump it with dump a whole lot of E85 in there, and I guess start tuning. That's it. It's not too far off. And then obviously there's all the finicky stuff I want to tidy up, all the wiring for indicators, all that. That's, you know, used what I had at the time, but I'm not impressed with it now, so I'll redo all that. Need to get a smaller fan for the radiator for start-stop traffic. Need to drain the oil out and take this plate off. Oh, actually, that was good timing. That is dripping from this gasket here, I think. So I need to get in there, and there's a nut on top. I need to reseal that. I'll just tighten it up. Pod filters come in, chuck that on. Clearance the fairings. So there's a couple of ducts that kind of come in like this. I need to chop those up to get the fairings back on so they sit on there nicely. And that's it. Well, I keep saying that's it, but you know, there's like a trillion other little things that I've forgotten, so that's it for now. And yeah, today, intercooler piping, I'm just going to play around, see if I can get it done, get back into the groove of using the GoPro and wherever the GoPro is. Yeah, there you go. Back into using all that, and yeah, you guys can take along. Okay, so yeah, intercooler piping. First off, I'll turn this bad boy on. So we got a 9-degree separation. Just doing some pie cuts. It takes a little bit of time, so it's best. I'm just gonna have a quick clean up. Best if you just get it going and just let it work in the background. set this machine up. Stop burning holes through it. So just gets way too hot, punches a hole every time, albeit that's, you know, a huge gap there. So I'm just gonna cut it all up, tack it all, because I can manage to get a tack in, but as soon as there's heat in the alley, it just continues, just burns right through. I'm gonna go through, tack everything up, get Nathan to come check this machine, set it up how he thinks it's right, give me a few tips as to not fucking things up, and yeah, we'll go from there. I've got a couple of pieces cut up already, so I reckon that green line, if I lop that off, push this all the way out to about there, that brings it up to about the same height as this angle. Maybe be able to adjust this one as well, turn it, cut that, swing it in, a couple of pie cuts, hopefully that'll fit in there. Plenty of tire clearance as well, that's something that I need to consider. Chop it up, tack it together, get Nathan to run through the machine, practice on a few different things and see if he can set it up so I can actually learn instead of burning holes through everything every 30 seconds. Yeah, now I'll get back into that. Good news is good. So I was just saying before, well, it's been like 3-4 hours. Saying before, I was going to wait for Nathan to come help set up the TIG welder to get some of these alley bends done, but looks like I've got it pretty well sorted. Managed to get these two welded up. This side's a bit messy. That's actually the side that I started with. Should have started with the other side to get the practice. And yeah, keep in mind it's a bit difficult to learn how to TIG, let alone learn how to TIG aluminium, let alone aluminium tube, and without knowing what the machine likes and what settings are required to get some decent welds. But she's in there. Going pretty smoothly, so I reckon I'll be up pretty late. Actually pretty excited about the fact that it does weld and I don't need to wait. Got a few beads under here looking pretty schmick for an amateur, I might add. Anyway, so that's up the top. I shortened this length here to bring it up, just so I've got more of a radius around back to this. So this one here, probably going to cock it out a little bit there. Trim this at an angle straight across, and then do a nice, probably going to need 10 pie cuts at 9 degrees either side, so that should give me the 180, maybe 8 of those pieces, we'll see, and then a small extension there. Pretty basic math. Yeah, 9 degrees, cut it, 9 degrees, cut it, times that by 2, blah 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 blah, and you can work out roughly how many you're going to need. And yeah, so pretty stoked with that. Just going to keep kind of feeling my way out with that, getting ready to hole saw, blow off valve. I want to get that mounted in there and get a I got this bad boy here, we get a couple of strips of this. A bracket run off this intercooler tube, just because it will be quite long, quite intricate. And what I want to do is maybe run the bracket off here to this bad boy and just mount it to something, just so it's not flopping around like a fucking loosey goosey hair. And check you out there. Sorry about the background noise. We got old Rob Dumb doing a bit of his YouTube magic. Anyway, so you can see that shoots off down there. Now I have added a bracket to the manifold, really firms it up, holds it in there. Chucked another, not sure if you guys have actually seen any of this yet, can't remember. Anyway, manifold's done. Made another little bracket just for the map sensor, and with the map sensor it actually runs 2 map sensors, one for each runner. Not entirely sure why they do that. It might be a vacuum thing, and it might trim each cylinder separately, maybe fuel it differently. Anyway, I've converted that to one. Took the signal wire, spliced, ran it together, simplified this loom, whacked in a couple of, I'm going to just call them ad hoc bolts, they were just floating around. A couple of bolts. We got vac source for the boost gauge and vac source for the AEM. That's probably the best source for them. These bad boys here. So this one's for the fuel pressure regulator, down there somewhere. It does fluctuate. Kind of wavers. I had the boost gauge attached, and it's a bit shaky. So that's obviously going to be the best for that bad boy, and for that bad boy. Now we run this down here. Pod filter, the blow valve. I want it to come off and run as close to the radiator as possible. I'm going to sit it right here, and I want to get that mounted up now, so when I run the bracket, I just know where everything's going to sit. And in the background, I'll cut some more pies, and then get tacking. Chuck this bad boy together, and yeah, we'll just go from there. First time actually doing like a T intersection on some pipe, and I started walking her around, but I'm just going to actually whack this on, because I've done this before where I've done full welds and been like, by the way, it doesn't fit. Let's chuck this cap on here. Might actually have to put this on after. Bit of a tight squeeze in there. It's like motorbikes aren't meant to have turbos. Squeeze you in like that. What I want is this section here. There we go. Trying to come down and follow this. Follow it under here as tightly as possible, just so we're away from this exhaust runner. Exhaust is getting wrapped. This I will wrap with some reflective DEI heat tape, but that looks pretty good, right where it is. Beautiful. Chuck that bad boy on there. Still got a bit of wiggle room until this is all complete, but from what I can tell, it should work fantastically. And what we got here is some more Turbosmart vac line, which is bloody brilliant stuff, nice and thick. Push that on there. Obviously it's not cut straight or anything. Don't have a sook. And then straighten that out. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, so I'm going to get to welding the rest of that and keep going with these pie cuts and all that kind of fun stuff. Alright guys, so pretty productive day. Managed to get this one here done, the intercooler piping. It's actually now 1:30 in the morning, so a little bit early, a little bit late, however you want to see it. 3 more pie cuts, that's done. Need to run 2 beads either side of this. Oh, actually no, just one bead on here, another bead on here. Weld that together, boom, done. I'm gonna wrap this, I think I mentioned earlier, DEI heat reflective tape, all the way up to probably the bottom of the blow off valve there. Wrap this in the titanium exhaust heat wrap as well. Probably just going to leave this as is. I'm now going to wipe all my fingerprints off before I start it, I guess. Give this wipe down, leave it as is, and yeah, that's it for today. I'm bloody tired, I've already cleaned up. Yeah, I guess in the next video I'll finish up the other side. Hopefully by then we've got the coils, that would be good. And it'll be something to do with starting and running the bike. Thanks for watching.